Hi everyone, so this is Gayle Palmer from Great Guidelines for Later Life and the Living Elements Clinic near Chichester in the UK. And there's been lots and lots of talk about how to not get coronavirus, hopefully. But what happens, or how can you prepare for the eventuality of you actually getting coronavirus? Okay, so it occurred to me that seemed to be a rather large missing. We were just supposed to know what to do. And I'm very clear that in the same way that most people didn't actually know how to wash their hands, knowing what to do and how to prepare seemed to be quite a useful piece of information. So there are a whole load of things that you can buy obviously ahead of time, which make life a lot easier. Toilet paper, tissues, face tissues, so you can blow your nose if you don't want to blow them on toilet paper. Paracetamol, not ibuprofen, it aggravates the virus problem. Paracetamol will take down the fever and is also obviously partly a painkiller. So it will help the aches and pains that the virus often creates in your body and your muscles. Your favourite brand of cough mixture to help bring the mucus up from your chest. Vicks Vapor Rub, fabulous product. You can put that on your chest, particularly at night, to help your breathing. But a top tip is to put it on the soles of your feet, because the oils are absorbed and they make an enormous difference because it works on the reflexes on your foot at the same time. Hot lemon and honey. Go and get yourself some high quality raw honey if you can, and some fresh lemon juice, so fresh lemons, half a lemon to about a teaspoon, maybe a teaspoon and a half of honey, nice lot of hot water, fabulous for clearing the system and keeping you hydrated at the same time. A humidifier is a really good thing to have in your bedroom. It increases the air humidity, which makes it easier to breathe when you have lung infections. Alternatively, you don't have a humidifier, you don't want to buy one. A bowl of water, a shallow dish of water by a radiator or a window will increase in humidity. Or if you're near a shower, then put the shower on nice and hot, and the steam will come off and obviously humidify the air too. If you have a history of asthma, make sure that your asthma inhaler or inhalers are up to date and full, because you will be needing those. Meals, food. I know everyone is eating a bit too much at the moment because they're bored and emotionally eating more than they should. But there's lots of foods that you can get in advance that will make life easier when you're feeling awful. So ready meals, vegetables that you can put into the freezer, bread that you can put into the freezer, toppings for toast, for instance, Marmite full of vitamin Bs, which is great. Not so good if you have a problem with kidneys because too much salt in that, but you could get some Vegemite perhaps, or a yeast extract which has less salt in it. Rice pudding, cans of tomatoes, fruit in syrup, all of those things that you can get in stock in advance. You could do a whole load of batch cooking, prepare a whole load of rice and cool it very quickly after you've cooked it, because rice can have problems, but then put those straight into the freezer so you've got it available when you want it. So just have a think about what you like eating, and then go out and get it appropriately. Keep hydrated. Top tip for health generally and staying well. Make sure you drink lots of water ongoingly all the time. Rest lots. Rest lots if you have got signs of coronavirus. Your body needs to recover. It needs to have time and space to do that. It does not want to be running around the place. It does not want to be made to think too much. And unfortunately, this is one of the things that our erstwhile Prime Minister Boris Johnson did not do. And I get it. He's running the country. He's got a lot of responsibility. He didn't want to let anyone down. But it has cost him significantly in his own personal health because he hasn't rested sufficiently and allowed his natural body immunity to overcome the effects of the coronavirus. That's really sad. Wear gloves and a mask to avoid contaminating perhaps others in the area or in your household. And obviously, if you do have to go out, particularly make sure that you are well covered and others are protected. If you're living in a household, try and stay isolated in your own bedroom, and ask friends or family to leave extra supplies outside the door that you can then collect. You do not need to go to hospital unless you are having severe problems breathing or that your temperature is very high, so above 39 degrees centigrade. Or that you feel the symptoms are not being at all managed with medications that you're able to take at the time. And really importantly, 90% of healthy adults are going to be able to cope with the effects of the coronavirus at home. You don't need to go to hospital to be told that you've got the coronavirus. It'll be obvious. Deal with it at home. The vast majority of people are going to be able to get over it without any problem. So relax, get on with it, do the job. But obviously, if you are worried about it or you have pre-existing problems where you're more likely to have complications, see your doctor now or have a conversation with your doctor now or ring 111 and be advised what to do, because that is a slightly different possible scenario. If you've got children, funnily enough, they're doing extremely well if they get coronavirus, and they will bounce back probably within just a few days, even though they will still be infectious. So it's hard for them because they don't really understand why they need to be all covered up and washing their hands and what have you. But do the best that you can. And if they do get a fever, then use a child's dose of paracetamol. And then finally, if you want to have a checklist for if or when you go into hospital, I have a checklist which is associated with the Great Guidelines Starter Kit, and you can get that from greatguidelinesstarterkit.com. There's a fabulous tickable hospital bag list in there with all sorts of things in there, which is really comprehensive, and it means you can take a copy in with you, keep it with your bag, you know what you've got, everyone else knows what you've got or should have, and that should make life a lot simpler. So if you are unfortunate enough to get the coronavirus, stay at home, use these guidelines, and I hope that you will recover really quickly. I hope that's been useful to you and worth your time. Take care for now. That's Gayle Palmer from the Living Elements Clinic and Great Guidelines for Later Life, where your health is my priority.